Hi, Cathy.
Hi, Jody.
All right, so today we want to share some of the lessons that we have learned, even as professionals, when we think we should know better. We are still learning just like the rest of you. So maybe you can relate to that, Cathy. I think you have something that you wanted to share with our listeners today.
Yeah, so we're going to talk about lessons learned, and one of the interesting things about lessons learned is sometimes we need to learn them again and again. So they get easier every time, but never think you have to do it perfect. It's okay if you're learning it again or remembering it. So I'm going to talk today about paperwork and piles of paper. So I think we all can relate to the fact that if you don't deal with your paper, it becomes an overwhelming mess and pile. And so one of the reasons I was thinking about talking about this today is where I'm sitting in my office, I can actually see right now some of my files. And it reminds me that I need to do a little bit of work on that. And the thing about papers and paperwork is you create a system for it. That's what I help my clients with. That's what I do for myself. But then you have to maintain that system. So it's not a one and done kind of thing. You have to routinely, and make it a habit, go in, and maybe it's once a week, maybe it's once a month, depending on what sort of papers you're keeping. You need to go back in and you need to take a look. One of the things too that Jody and I were talking about before we started our call today is the fact that papers actually can age out. So they might be important to you at one point, and then 6 months later, you don't need them anymore and they're not important. For instance, manuals. When you get a new refrigerator, do you really need the old manual for the old refrigerator? Well, the answer, of course, is no. And the other thing, you can always look online and see, can you just get the information you need online and you don't need a manual at all? So that's just, one of the things I've been thinking about lately as I'm in my office looking around is that I need to recommit a little bit to filing some papers, going through some old files, and paring things down.
Cathy, do you have a kind of a routine that you follow, like a time period? I mean, are you going in maybe every month or every 6 months, or what do you do personally? Or just
Well,
as it becomes overwhelming and you can't ignore it anymore?
Yeah, I don't let it get to the overwhelming point. With my mail, for instance, I deal with my mail immediately. It
Mhm.
gets tossed or it gets filed immediately. I get rid of all the envelopes because I do all my stuff online. So I don't need any of the envelopes that they send me. All that gets recycled.
Mhm.
The other thing that I do is with my business paperwork, I clear my desk and I file everything if I'm ending a project, I clear that information off my desk and file it before I start the next project. So I don't have a pile of paper at the end of the day that I have to deal with. And then, sometimes you run out of time to deal with it. So I kind of on a continual basis throughout the day do that. So I guess my tip there is just I deal with it as soon as I can.
Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
I use for to file my papers, I use those plastic drawers, you know, so
Mhm.
I can just very quickly put a receipt in a drawer that's in a closet dedicated for my paperwork. But
Mhm.
yeah, so when that drawer no longer opens, it's like, all right, I might want to go through that.
Yeah, then it's time.
So that's great. I know this is a frustration that most of us are dealing with on a daily basis. So that was a great tip to share. So one of my lessons learned is a tip that you shared with us in an earlier recording, Cathy, where you said have a plan before you start an organizing project. And so right now I am changing our bedroom. I am working with my mentors and going through the house coaching program again. And it's just reminding me of how important it is to have a plan in place. And I am one that like, oh my gosh, I get so excited about changing something, whether it's something simple, with the decor, or I'm going to paint a room or buy a new piece of furniture. I want to go in and I just want to turn that room upside down. I want to just clear everything out. And
Mhm.
that repeatedly becomes a sense of overwhelm and frustration for me. And I do it
Mhm.
over and over again. So the tool that I had to use for house coaching, and this is something that I walk my clients through, but I guess I was feeling it doesn't apply to me until last week when it's like, okay, what do I want different in my bedroom? I know that it
Mhm.
is not reflecting me and the transformation that I am experiencing in my life right now. And I am just urging, I have this urge for significant change. But what is it?
Mhm.
And so I'm not going to go out and go buy, new pictures or a new bed or anything like that. First, I want to create Pinterest boards because that is such a
Mhm.
powerful tool in helping us see what we like and what we don't like. So that is my that is my lesson learned. Slow down, think about it, and really enjoy the process of change. And if you're sharing your space with somebody, ask them to do the same thing as far as think about what they want. And maybe they can also go online and create some Pinterest boards. And that you can look at collectively, you can look at what you're both longing for and kind of the
Mhm.
mood that you want to create, the look and the feeling, and see what you have in common or what is drastically different, and then how can you create a plan to make sure that everyone is represented.
Mhm. Yeah, and
So
that is, I mean, I think it's so true for so many people. I felt myself get like that, where I just want the end result, and you get so much more out of it when you slow yourself down and look at it step by step and make sure that you're really thoughtfully putting in place what you want to put in place. No,
exactly,
it's really an exercise in slow is the best approach.
absolutely. And
Mhm.
I have to remind myself every day.
Yeah, yeah. You're not alone.
Great. All right, it was great seeing you, Kathy, and we will see you next time.
Okay, thanks so much, Jody.
Thanks. Bye.
If you would like to work with either one of us on an individual basis, we are both available to do video online consultation with you. For those of you in our local area, we are available to come in for an in-home consultation. And Cathy lives in the Wheaton, Illinois area, and I live in the Detroit metro area. Please visit our websites for more information.